So here, this is the last part. In our previous video, we have made the engine and we have also made the network files. Now using this, we're gonna call the actual API and see how we can implement it in our real life scenario. So normally in a project, you will have a view and a view model. So in the view model, we will declare the protocol, and this is actually a delegate, and with the help of the delegate we will call the API and we will get the data. So this is the test API service, this is the protocol, this is the implementation, and this is the delegate. And in the init method we're gonna say which class is actually implementing that protocol. So in our case, this is the default test API service. If you remember, this is the class which is implementing the protocol. So this will do the hard lifting. So we are just declaring it. So now in our function, we'll just call that function which will call the API with the help of the delegate. So yeah, you can see with just one single line of code, we're calling the API. We're also passing the parameters. Also, this is an async throws function, and it will call the API asynchronously, and it will handle any kind of error if there is any error, and if there is any UI update needed, then you need to call the main actor, because otherwise it will throw an error, because it will say that UI cannot be updated from the background thread. So you need to put it in the main thread. So that's one thing. So yeah, with the, as you can see, you will get the actual data here. You don't need to worry any kind of error or any kind of waiting. You just need the data, and you will manipulate the data, or you will process the data as you need. So here in your view model, you will get the actual data with just one single line of code. Of course, we had to do a lot of things to get here, but just look at the code. If you have like 5 or 10 or 20 API calls in a single feature, how clean the code will be. So that's how you just call the API in a neat, clean way. So let's see how things are going. So in the UI, we just call the view model from a task. First we declare the view model in a state object, and then we call the function from the task. So here we get the response. So just look at this, how clean it is, and why I created the logger file. So in the, as you can remember from the logger file, we had a log request, and then log JSON, and then log decode JSON. And in the HTTP client, while making a request, first I declared the log request, and then log JSON, and then log decoded JSON. So this log request, you can see this is the response, and here you can see which URL you are calling, which method you are using, and what are the header, what are the query parameter, if there is any body, everything you can see. So this makes debugging much more easier. You can see straight away if you're making a wrong API call or wrong method. It just makes things much more easier. Then you can see the JSON response, exactly, if you can remember, like the formatted JSON is pretty printed JSON. In your debug also, you can see exactly pretty printed JSON, which makes things very easy. If it is much more complex nested JSON, this thing is makes much more easier. And if you just double click on the array, it will show you the whole array, which is very effective while debugging. Next, also you will see which model actually this response is for. So exactly, for this data, this response is for this data. So there's no confusion, like if you have to call multiple API, you'll get multiple response, but you know which response this is for. So next, you get the decoded response. Here you can see the name, if it is a JSON response, normal JSON response, or a decoded response. So here you can see if it could decode the data, then it will only print the decoded response. So let's check why it is important. And in our model, let's change the type. So there should be an error. So let's check if it gives us the exact error. So here you can see type mismatch, int type mismatch, expected to decode int but found string instead. So obviously there was a string response, but we changed it to integer, so we get the response. So here now you can see it could make the request correctly, it got the JSON response correctly, but it could not decode. So that makes debugging super easy. Also, let's change it again, but change the name. So here it says names not found. So it is giving you exact error. So previously it was saying that type error, but now it's saying that name is not found. So it gives you the exact error. So that's how debugging is super easy, and it will save you a lot of time. So yeah, we learned how to make the client, we learned how to make the network, and then finally we learned how to implement this. Hopefully it will be very beneficial for you for your actual project, because I'm also using this in my actual project for a large scale app actually, and this is very scalable. So yeah, if you like this video and if you learn something from this series, hit like and subscribe to my channel for further video like this. Thank you very much.